What is going on YouTube? Another video coming at you from Ricardo Gaming. How is it going? This is another video I'm doing. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing a list of ranking all the eras of Disney. So I'll snap back to this real quick. The eras so far: Golden, Silver, Bronze eras. I've done those three. Now we're in the Renaissance. So this is supposed to be the best era of Disney animated movies. And I'm not going to lie, it is probably by far the best era when it comes to overall good movies. Every movie on this list is a good movie. Every movie on this list is good. I can sit down and watch right now and not be bored at all. So I'm just being honest, this is a very hard one to rank. There's a lot of ones that I have an emotional ties to. There's a lot of ones that I just like in a general sense. It's very difficult to rank all of these, but I'm going to do my very best. And just keep in mind, if it's not where you would put them, it's nothing personal, it's nothing against these movies. They're all good movies. Just keep in mind that this is my personal ranking. Okay? All these movies, again, are good. They're all solid movies. There's not one in here that I'd say, like, oh, I can't stand that movie, nothing like that. All good movies for their own, all their own reasons. So, Hunchback of Notre Dame is my number 10. Quasimodo, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Esmeralda, good movie. There are a lot of iconic villains in this one, in this era. A lot of good villains. Some of the most memorable, probably because they're most, obviously, the best era. Hunchback of Notre Dame, good movie, very good visuals, very good music. It's a good story, just all around good story. I think it gets number 10 for me. It just doesn't resonate with me. There's other things that resonate with me more. Like, for example, the one above it, at number 9, has just a really good soundtrack. It's just way better than the music in this. Now, don't get me wrong, the music in Hunchback of Notre Dame was very good. And like I said, I'm going to reiterate, I could sit down and watch every one of these. But I rank Hunchback of Notre Dame out of these, number 10. Okay? Number 9 is Tarzan. Now, I know a lot of people are going to get mad about this. A lot of people like Tarzan. The movie itself, I'm just not the hugest fan of. I don't. I like the movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm more of a fan of the soundtrack for this movie. It's a very good soundtrack. I think it's one of the best soundtracks Disney's ever made. When it comes to their movies, it is by far one of the best, and I really, really enjoy the soundtrack of this movie. My wife, this is like her favorite. This and like Lion King are like her two favorite movies like ever made. Tarzan's good, but the soundtrack for me is what puts it above Hunchback of Notre Dame. Obviously, the animation and the visual styling of everything, and the way he like surfs on the trees, is pretty cool. But Tarzan is slightly behind the next one, which is Rescuers Down Under. Rescuers Down Under, to me, is very funny. It's the only one of these I feel like is a shout out to, like, kind of like a look back at the past, like a shout out to the past. The Rescuers came out in, I think it was like late 80s, early 70s, and Rescuers Down Under was right after Little Mermaid, like right around 1990. Good movie. It's a different take, but it had a lot of memorable characters, a lot of memorable parts to it, and it's just a good freaking movie. And it's got a really good villain. It's got a funny, like, quirky villain. Joanna, I think is what her name is, like the lizard. And you have the guy, I cannot think of his name right now, who is the main villain. Who's the poacher trying to kill this eagle that has this golden eagle or whatever it is, giant ass bird. So, very good movie, good shout out, and it just really picks up really well. And I think it's one of those few sequels I think just puts the other one in its dust. Like in movies, like Terminator 2 is way better than Terminator 1 in my opinion. Godfather 2 is a smidge better than Godfather 1, but The Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins, and Wrath of Khan is better than the first Star Trek movie. This is one of those that the sequel is better than the original, like they're better than the first one. Okay, so number 7 is Pocahontas. Pocahontas is number 7. This one's good because I think it has more memorable characters. You have the hummingbird, you have Miko. Sorry, I'm yawning. It has Miko, Pocahontas. As a kid, I had like the biggest crush on Pocahontas. Very good movie. And I think in my last video I went over the voice work that Disney started getting into. So, for example, in this movie, it had some really good voice work. You had Christian Bale played one of the characters. Mel Gibson played John Smith. I don't remember who played Pocahontas. I don't remember off the top of my head. But they had people in this movie that there were big names. And this is one of those movies where big name people and big name actors played iconic voices. I think Hunchback of Notre Dame has this too. I'm just drawing a blank on who the actors were, but I know this one specifically had Mel Gibson, Christian Bale, and there were others too. But Pocahontas, I'm part Native American. I'm a quarter Native American. My grandmother was full-blood Cherokee. My mom, half Cherokee. And that makes me a quarter. And I think I'm like a little bit of something else on my dad's side, but I'm just going to say quarter because I don't know definitively how much. So a lot of the Native American imagery, Native American lifestyle is really well. I think it's very well represented. If they do really live action, they're going to butcher this movie if they do a live action version. So we're in this phase now where we like to do live action versions of every movie, and there's one on here that I not like the live action versions of very many of them. I think Maleficent is probably one of the better ones, live action. I did not like The Lion King. I did not like Beauty and the. They were okay, but they weren't as good as the originals, and I think it was a money grab to do a live action version, just my opinion. And we're gonna see if Mulan was good or not. But Pocahontas is one that if they do a live action version, I'm curious to see how they're gonna do it. I'm curious to see how Native Americans can be represented. They're probably gonna take out some songs, and people are offended by everything now. So this is one I think will get butchered by a remake. So moving on. Is Beauty and the Beast is number is that 6? Yeah, number 6. Beauty and the Beast number 6. Now this like I said, this is a fantastic movie. It's very good. I did not dislike the remake. I think they played more towards I think it was more. I would say this was. I don't. Okay, I have a thing I have called agenda films. There's films that are out there that have an agenda. I don't think this was an agenda film, but I thought it got kind of close. But Beauty and the Beast, they actually did a pretty good job of wrapping up some plot holes that were in the animated version, so not horrible. I didn't think that was bad. I think the songs in it have some of the most iconic songs of this era are in this movie. Really good, really well done. A lot of good characters. Angela Lansbury plays Mrs. Potts. I'm a big fan of hers. So this is a lot of things that are good in this movie. It's not just one or two or three things. It's a lot of things. And like I said, these are like the creme de la creme of the Disney productions and Disney videos. The Little Mermaid is number 5. This one's one that it's going to be cringy to watch the live action version of this because it's not going to be very well done. Disney will put a lot of graphics into it, make it a spectacle, make it look good. But they're completely changing the original story. They're changing a lot of things, and I'm not a big fan. I think they're being very hypocritical. But regardless of that, let me talk about the Little Mermaid animated movie. A lot of good songs. Girl played Ariel. I can't remember her name, but she has such a good voice. A lot of good things. The lobster, there's flounder, there's scuttle, there's what's that lobster's name? Can't think of the name, but Scuttles is the goofy bird, and Flounder's like her best friend. And then and then you have Triton. So, and then you have a pretty good villain in this too. So I haven't even gone over that yet. So all these have pretty good villains. I can't remember was it like Lefray or something like that, or like in Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tarzan. You have the guy who just wants to hunt everything and kidnap animals. So those two aren't really iconic. But then you have Rescuers Down Under. That one's not iconic either. Pocahontas. Was it like Ratcliffe or Ratford or whatever his name is? So no. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, Gaston. Pretty iconic villain. Probably the embodiment of old age, male testosterone, or male toxic masculinity, what people would say. I just think he was a guy who liked the girl and he went a little too far with it. Little Mermaid. Back to this. So this probably has one of the better villains in this era. I mean, there's a bunch of good villains left still, but Ursula is one of the better villains. Now I'm gonna say this because I see this meme all the effing time, and I gotta correct this now. There's a like, it was a meme. It says something like, what's her name signed a contract saying that she would give up her soul or give up herself or whatever if she didn't get married by the end of the third day or whatever, and she gets her daddy to get out of it and kills her to win the contract. It's like a meme on Facebook. I'm not going to look it up and show you. I'm just going to it. This is what it is. With that being said, no, it does not say in the contract that Ursula can take the voice that she took from Ariel and use it to get the self married. It has to be some form of tampering in that contract. She got her eels involved, so on and so forth. There's a lot of tampering on her part, which makes the fact that where Ariel didn't want to fulfill her part of the contract null and void. So just throwing it out there. Bull crap. I'm tired. I get tired of seeing that meme on Facebook. Okay, but Little Mermaid, good freaking movie. I think it's one of the last. It was the first one of the Golden Age made. Very good movie. Lion King. Now people are gonna get pissed at this, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can get mad if you want, but Lion King is number 4 on my list. I like the Lion King, but when I watch a movie, I do want to have a little bit more fun with it, and I think this movie's hits on some serious topics, but they're still good topics, but it hits on some serious topics, and the songs are good, and it's very well done. I just don't like it as much as my top 3. Okay, and I got to reiterate because there's always someone in the comments or always someone that messages me on my Instagram page that says, "Oh man, you hate really good movies." I'm like, no, I don't hate any of these. Any of these movies, I can gladly sit and watch any one of them. It's just when I rank them, which ones do I rank higher? Which ones do I personally enjoy? Okay, number 3 is Mulan. Mulan is good. One, it's got really kick-ass song. "Make a Man Out of You" is like one of the better songs I've heard. The action, it just gets you pumped up. I don't know why, it just does. Really good battle scenes. Really funny too. It has the best combination of all those things. And they're gonna remake this, and I'm curious. I'm not gonna pay to see it, but I'll see it eventually. How this movie is remade, because all the other remakes they haven't made the movie better. Beauty and the Beast wrapped up a plot hole. Lion King, actually, I thought wasn't good at all. I have a whole other video about that on a different channel. If you want to know why I didn't like this movie, I mean, I'll give 2 things. How you sing a song that says, "Can you feel the love tonight?" and it's the middle of the day. Okay. 2, your CGI was so good that you couldn't tell the difference between Scar and Mufasa. They should have done a much better job differentiating. You could still make it live action looking and not have him look exactly like a lion. You can have him make it look a little bit cartoon or something a little bit cartoonish or something like that. Yeah, I think you could have done a little bit better with that. And then they had like plot stuff they changed. So I didn't like the live action version of Lion King. I don't think I'm gonna like the live action version of Little Mermaid. They kind of did one already. It was on stage. Disney did it on ABC. But the live action version of Mulan, I'm really curious to see how it is. The original one's funny. The cricket's funny. The horse plays into it. And that's just something I think these live action remakes are missing. Is if I go back to any of the live action remakes, the reason why Disney movies are so good is if you have a human in it, there's animals that are humanized and they make it fun. Like, okay, for example, if I'm looking at these movies and I look at what's a live action for Dumbo, that's a bad example. Cinderella, live action for Cinderella, the animals talking makes it a very important part of the movie. The live action version of 101 Dalmatians was a good movie, but since there's no talking, you kind of miss out on the community. It's very well done, the live action version. But like, okay, Lady and the Tramp's a good one. A live action version, you miss out on a lot of the magic that happens in that movie. When it comes to that, Aristocats, if they made a live action version of that, it's just not going to look as good. And whenever you have a human with, like, for example, I mean, Aladdin's a little bit higher on this list than where we're at. Sorry, wrong one. It's a little bit higher on the list than where we're at right now. But if they totally took like a Boo and made him a non-factor. Raja made her a non-factor. So there's a lot of things in those movies that are taken out when you do live action because you're missing out a lot of those elements. And Mulan is going to miss out on the horse head personality, the cricket head personality, and then you have the comic relief funny aspect of Eddie Murphy playing Mushu. You're completely going to miss out on all those things. So I just think that that's something that you're missing out on, horribly missing out on in these live action ones. And I think that that's going to be missed out on Mulan too. I think a lot of people are going to watch it and they're going to miss out significantly on a handful of things because of that. They're going to miss out. They're going to have nostalgia, remember the old movie. They're going to miss those things. So, that being said, Hercules, number 2. Hercules, 2 good songs, Zero to Hero, and then, I don't remember the first song in the movie, but there's a lot of good ones. And then the ones like I Won't Say I'm in Love, that's another good one. Hercules is good. You have a great villain. A great villain. You have, what's his name? James Woods plays the villain. You have Philatides is played by Danny DeVito, so he did really well. The movie's just very well done. I don't think that much can be said about it. I know it didn't do as good box office wise as other people or other movies, but to me, I would rather sit down and watch Hercules than a handful of these movies. I think it's funny. I think it has a lot of good elements to it. I think it could have been better. Just wasn't promoted well. And number 1 is Aladdin. Aladdin, to me, is the best movie in this era. It's probably one of the best Disney movies of all time. To me, it was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. So it resonates with me in that regard. The genie in this was amazing. Now I can compare this to the live action version. Like I said, you took a lot of elements out of the movie that made it special. The Abu didn't really have much of a personality in the live action version. You gave more screen time to Jasmine. If it's called Aladdin and you're giving majority of the screen time to Jasmine, just make a new movie called Jasmine. You added songs and they need to be in there, so on and so forth. But Aladdin, the animated movie, is to me the best movie in this era. It has its combination of romance. It's funny. There's a lot of things going on with it. Robin Williams crushed it as the genie. I don't think anyone could do any better. I don't think Will Smith even held a candle to it. I don't think he did bad for what he was asked to do, but it wasn't better than wasn't close to what Robin Williams did. Like I said, a lot of good songs in there. A Whole New World is a great song. One Step was a good song. Great villain, Jafar. Iconic characters. You have a lot of animals. Like, for example, they even ruined like one of the villain animals, Iago. Iago was trash. Iago was like not even part of anything in the live action version. So the animated version again was just the whole point about Iago is he was a character that could have a conversation with Jafar, and Jafar could bounce ideas off of him. And even though he was still like just an animal, he was conscious enough to be able to like help Jafar and come up with ideas and so on and so forth. And then he evolved into an actual character and it had like a good story arc. The way they did it, they pretty much took Abu and Iago and cut them out of the movie and focused all their attention on boosting up the Jasmine character. Raja even had like a personality kind of like in the original movie as well. Instead of the live action one. So I know it's kind of being a whining about the live action versions of Disney movies, but in a general sense, though, this was a great era for movies. These movies are all good. I can sit and watch each and every one of them. The live action versions, that's probably a completely different conversation that I could have. But each one of these is a good movie in their own right. So to repeat my list, number 10 was Hunchback of Notre Dame. Number 9 was Tarzan. Number 8 was Rescuers Down Under. 7 was Pocahontas. 6 was Beauty and the Beast. 5 was Little Mermaid. 4 was Lion King. 3 was Mulan. 2 was Hercules. And 1 was Aladdin. So thank you for watching. Sorry I went on a little bit of tirade a few times, but you're getting this authentic. I'm not cutting out all that stuff. It's just run straight through recording. So thank you for watching. If you could, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, comment down below. What is your favorite movie in this era? I think I know the answer for most people, but I'm still curious to know. So thanks for watching. See ya.